Goedemorgen, goedenavond, meneer en vrouwen. Um, Alles goed, ja? Ja. Welcome to the stream. Bienvenidos al stream, bienvenidos al canal. Honestamente, estamos ahora, bueno, vamos a mirar Three Gods in Online. We're about to see Three Gods in Online, and we're joined here by our fabulous chat on our, I guess for you guys, it's your right-hand side. For me, it's my left-hand side. We have quite a lot of lurkers here today. We have quite a lot of wonderful individuals here. Tenemos bueno, al otro creador fantástico que se llama Chaos Puppy, una persona sensacional. Si tienen la oportunidad, ven, mírenla, es increíble. We have a lot of sensational individuals in here. We have Touch Me Domo, Cough Me, FinFran, Masters, and the list goes on and on and on. Guys, if you guys want to be a part of our experiences as we go through Three Gods in Online, come join us. We do this every Friday and Sunday. In some cases, we have special days where we do EU streams. Because like tomorrow, we might be watching a movie and we might be going a little hard. I am kind of scared for tomorrow. Because we're finishing Doki Doki. We might be watching the Konosuba movie or the Tanya movie. We might be finishing off a series or two. You know, we might be doing quite a bit. With that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and just jump into it? Anyway, let's go. You've seen it, Chaos?
頭では分かっているのに動けないのはなんでだ。勝つ理由がないとか言いながら負けると苦しいのはなぜだ。中途半端だ僕は。何もかも。
Fuck, that's deep. That's deep to start with. Depression. This for trigger warning for a lot of people. This anime is gonna get pretty dark, pretty deep, pretty quickly. Depression is a daily battle, yeah, and sometimes even our own words we start to question a lot. In scenarios like this, I can't even imagine what he must be going through. This first line that he opened up with over here. I'll wait, and I'll show you guys what I mean. Very beautiful. I understand that's in my head, so why can I do nothing about it? The amount of times, heartbreaking as it is, that I've heard that for mental illness is huge. Like, honestly, I would probably be a millionaire the amount of times that I've heard this, dude. People can understand logic. People can understand the reasoning behind why they may be depressed. But yet they still feel as though they're in that cycle of mud. It's like you're trying to thread through mud, and yet you feel like you're going nowhere all at once because the ocean tides keep coming in and keep pressing you into deeper and deeper slates of mud. And if you keep moving forward, it just feels like you're about to get succumbed in. Depression is not something that's easily visible. A lot of people take it as the easy signs. Oh, they're distancing themselves, they're isolating. But it's also wearing masks. It's also smiling too much. You know, it's also trying to be there for everyone and everything, and sometimes not being there at all. But a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, and even if you can control it, Chaos, a lot of people don't understand. Like, for example, cognitive distortions and other scenarios like that. Like, it can really mess a person up. Like, our culture. And I hate to lead into this. Our culture really influences a lot of like the way that we think, the process that we think, how we grew up, our social economical factors, 101 reasons out there. It even influenced. There's a concept out there called learned helplessness. And look it up. You guys can look this up on YouTube at any point in time. it's sad. It's extremely sad to see and hear and whatnot. Where let's say that I were to separate half of the stream here, right? And the half of the stream, I encourage them. I give them a piece of paper that they have to unscramble words and whatnot, and they're all easy words, and they're all able to do it, right? 4 words, they're all able to go ahead and do it. And on the other hand, on like the other half of the stream, I give them 3 impossible unscrambable words, and the fourth one is totally doable, the same as the first group. Guess what? By the time they reach the fourth, they're giving up. A lot of them won't be able to do it. And there's a whole project dedicated to this. You can look it up on YouTube and other, like, quite literally, like, research articles on it as to how learned helplessness can come from a culture, can come from socioeconomical statuses where you're told, hey, you graduated high school, that's all you needed to do. That's it. No more. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to go up further. You don't have to. Granted, in today's society, we can make an argument about all of that, but still, like the whole thing is meeting the bare minimum, or even less than the bare minimum, and being told you can't reach up. You can't ask for help. You can't be a man and be vulnerable. You can't be a woman and be strong. You can't do, like, so many things are being placed on us, and expectation to roles that can lead into a deeper, deeper spiral. Trigger warning, right? Uh, there's been many people in my life that I've lost to suicide, right? That were even studying psychology, that were psychologists. Quite literally, some of them even graduated with their master's degree, and the next year they were gone. You can understand the theoretical physics, and even experts in the field may be experts in terms of the theoretical knowledge. But guess what? Even as experts, sometimes we may still feel lost. And we may still feel as though there's nothing that we can do about it. Check up on your friends. Check up on your loved ones. Even just a simple hello can go a long way. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Like, just saying, are you okay? Do you need to talk? Goes a long way for a lot of people. So that's why I say you can understand it all in your head. You can be the most logical person out there. But that's why I will always say relationships, support networks, establishing your friend group, establishing yourself and who you can go to in times of crisis, and creating that crisis plans is huge. It's important. And I will always advocate for that. Oh, I'm fine, Chaos Puppy. I'm fine in terms of that. It's just, something to realize and rationalize that, like, life may be a little too short, and sometimes, for example, some of us got to deal with the pandemic in a different light. I know most people got to isolate themselves, but some people, as psychologists, as therapists, whatnot, if you're in a country that has forced, like, euthanasia, or the ability to go and euthanize other individuals, sometimes, aside from a doctor's note saying that it's okay, you need a psychologist saying that mentally they're fit to do so. And you can understand their logical process, but you may not be able to go ahead and do anything about it, and that might weigh on you for a little bit. You're amazing. No, Chaos Puppy, you're amazing. And in situations like that, like looking back and reflecting on stuff like that, it's like, it's deep concepts that change your introspective moments as to, like, what life is and how you can be. Wait, for euthanasia for people? Yeah, Finfrin. Euthanasia for people. There are people out there who, like, who maybe at the end of their life cycle, they feel like they're content with what they've lived, and so they're ready for that process. So they have to have a physical full health evaluation and a psychological evaluation for that as well, and get the signatures off of the providers. And with that, I do want to go and say, hey, at the end of the day, this is why I'm reiterating this point. Seek help, all right? Because you can understand it to the best of your abilities, but seeking other people's help and support networks, and even a counselor or professional, huge, huge. And even getting up out of bed if you've been depressed, dude, I've been there. I've been in a point where I was so heartbroken, and I've tried to commit self-harm, right? I attempted in my life before, and I'll open up about this later. I was in such a deep dark state where even understanding all the concepts of psychology, life, and everything around me, and even going for my doctorates now, I understand pretty much a lot about what there is to know about psychology and whatnot. At during that time, it felt like it was just a sinking hole that was going deeper and deeper. And that's why, you know, this channel, this stream, this community, all of that is a big network of support and love and whatnot for anyone that might be going through something. So if you guys, and I applaud you guys for those of you guys that woke up today. I applaud you guys for those of you guys that or even able to like wake up and like look at your phones or whatever, because waking up is already a big battle in of itself. So if you're going through something like this, seek help, but also know that you're not alone. There are other people out there that can help. Anyway.
何もかも
Oh, that's right. This is where we left off. Oh God, dude.
見てるめっちゃ見てるよでかい怖いお名前は桐山です下の名はレイです桐山レイやっぱりそうだ中学生で将棋のプロになったはじめまして高橋祐介ですえ僕は野球をやっていて将来はプロになれたらと思っているんです
I have to say, there's somewhat of a I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's somewhat of a respect between like top players or top talent and whatnot. Like even in small scenarios, I hate to word travels quickly, right? So it's realistic in a way, right? Where, for example, I knew that one of the kids at like when I was in high school and college was like landed #1 in the state for wrestling, right? And I was like, oh, cool, he landed #1 in the state for wrestling. And I remember he actually came over and he's like, hey, I know you're a professional fighter, dude. Like, do you want to spar in like the most respectful way possible? And I was like, no way. Like, I was like completely mind blown. I was like, I thought like you're so busy because a lot of people just get so ingrained in their own routine that a lot of times like we stop paying attention to what others outside of us are doing unless they hit like a big level like that. A ton of fun, dude. And it's not just like that, it's also like other people at the top of their game. I think that like you're always like aware of like, oh, for example, those are the drama kids, those are the music kids, oh, that's like the drum major, the person that leads the band there. Other people admire you and recognize you as huge. Yeah, absolutely, Seth York. And that admiration and that role, the role setting is huge because it automatically means that you know that there are people out there that are looking to you. Something I'm kind of curious about, especially seeing as though they're still in school, is like how's the educational setting? Like, this might sound weird and this might be just me overthinking and overshooting shit in general, but for example, for the girl's sister, the you guys already know I go for Ona-chan, for the girl that's here with our main character, like, what does her school look like along with this school? Like, how are the teachers? Are the teachers doing okay? Are they like pressing matters onto them in a well-fashioned way that they're able to go ahead and take that and like move on with it? Or is it a simple and lax school? Some VTubers want to collab together. Artists, can we draw or do a project? Yeah, exactly, Chaos. Like, there's always like a little clique of semblance in situations like that.
で、この先、このまま都内の高校に野球推薦で入るか。
Okay, wait, hold on. So, funny story. I guess it's kind of it's a story, right? So my brother went into military, all cool, right? I love and respect the military here in the US. Holy crap, Geek Me, thanks so much for subbing for a year, brother. I appreciate you. Good morning. So in, you know how sometimes they do awards and stuff? I remember like the recruiters were after me because they knew like I scored pretty high in the ASVAB test, and they knew that I had like my black belt and studied like 4 or 5 different martial arts and did jujitsu and judo and karate and all of these things. And have you ever won an award that should definitely go to one of the ROTC kids, and you're just like, thanks. ASVAB test on the AS test. Hey, Chaos. Yeah, dude, I'm a pretty good judge at that. And as a tactician on the battlefield, yeah, you know it, dude. You know it. I'm actually pretty good at strategy games. Thank you for following Lazy Genius. Man, hearing that makes me kind of envious. I never found a place where I felt like the US Tanya, dude, I would have been a fucking menace. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would have been a menace. Lazy Genius, thanks so much for following. But no, dude, like, legit, they were every day, they would call me. Or they would like visit my classroom and try and talk to me about like, you know, there's a martial arts program there, the thing where we practice jiu-jitsu and we practice karate and martial arts. And I got like the Semper Fidelis Award of Excellence as like a military award for something, right? Usually presented by like some of the people there that do like the Arts of She program and stuff like that. And I was just like, that's a good award. But no, in a situation like that, dude, it was always like, what's your favorite strategy game? They suck at strategy, but I sure as hell love them. Yeah, dude, I love all strategy games. Like, I like war strategy. I remember End War for the PlayStation 3. And I remember using minimal resources and still being able to beat the game in, like, the hardest mode. Like, also, like, XCOM and stuff like that. Like, I'm usually pretty good at games like that. It takes a little bit to get into them, but once I know how to run situations and run them through, it's like, yeah. Anyway. My question for you guys is, what were you guys known for? What were you guys like, not even decent at, but what were you guys proud of? What is a proud moment that you had in your educational setting, high school, college, whatever that may be?
父があなたのことを話してくれたんです。
世の中にはこの子みたいに中学生でバシッと自分の道を決めてプロになったやつもちゃんといるんだ。プロになりたければちゃんと自分で勇気を出して選べ。
それで俺、四国の高校に行くことに決めたんです。ジュニアの大会でお世話になった監督が誘ってくれているので。でも聞きたかったんです。桐山さんはプロになってから1年遅れでまた学校に行かれてますよね。それはどうしてですか？
彼の真剣な顔を見て、
Oil painting.
これは上辺の答えではなくて、
Yes, I gotta see that,
本
dude.
当の言葉を探して答えないといけない質問だと、そう理解した。でも
Finn friend, yo, I'm gonna need your help then for video editing.
なんて伝えたらいいだろう。
Please.
僕は本当に将棋にしか特化してないんです。人付き合いも苦手だし、勉強は好きだけど学校には馴染めませんでした。人生を早く決めたことは後悔していません。でも多分逃げなかったって記憶が欲しかったんだと思います。
I mean, also, in a realism aspect, one thing that I would be like looking into is sort of the job market, because I know that like there's been a big separation of like what's the availability and job market and worth and everything from say the early 80s, 90s, and even to now, dude. Like every year there's been a big separation as to what you can and can't do. And in a scenario like him, where he's already chosen to do shogi, it's, I'm sure a big aspect for going to school is that socialization aspect, right? It's a big aspect of like trying to find yourself and grow off of determinants like that. That's oof. Oof. You said it.
恥ずかしくなってきた。
Oh.
俺何語っちゃってるんだ。こんな 初めて会った中学生相手に
Me whenever I speak to Chaos Puppy.
そうか。
Or Juicy Deucey or Masters or Fin Fran.
サボったりした記憶って自分にしかわからないけど、ピンチの時によく監督に自分を信じろって言われるんすけど、でも自分の中にちょっとでも逃げたりサボったりした記憶があると、いやだって俺あの時サボったしって思っちゃって、それができないんです。だからうまく言えないけど、そういうのをなくしたかったってことですよね。
Oh, bro.
通じた。
Bruh.
やばい。
Friend?
なんだこれ。
Friend?
すごい嬉しい。なんだか油断するとうっかり涙が出そうで焦った。
No.
そのくらい嬉しかった。
おーい高橋、遅れてすまん。行こうぜ。おあ、でも俺まだもうちょっと。
よかったらまた話そう。
いいんすか？
ひなちゃん。
Bro, hold on. This whole saying, and this is, oh, dude, this is just beautiful. This concept, dude, and it's kind of true, and this is why I think the separation of, like, birds of a feather flock together, right? That saying. I think just the imagery in of itself, right? Where sometimes we don't necessarily have to, for example, even here on Twitch, right? I love you guys for, and even the YouTube commentators love and or hate comments, right? Appreciate you guys for being a part of this journey, right? Or even, for example, some of the hate commenters who like literally watch the entire thing and then they like, you know, hold on, let me reenact it. Like, you're upset about my main character. My waifu is like about any anime, really. I still appreciate you guys for genuinely watching through and even hearing out some of the concepts of like of like, you know, that we go into, some of the introspective elements that we try and talk about. And in situations like this, some people may not be ready for change. Some people might be ready to go ahead and hear and like some people want to go ahead and listen to respond instead of listen to understand. And sometimes we're all along for the road for just listening to try and understand what may be happening in our life. Or maybe taking a little bits and pieces of psychological knowledge and advancing in. We might be two boats that are, you know, along in the deep, endless sea, right? Just meeting casually in the middle of the midnight and crossing along. And I think sometimes finding someone of your kin, someone that shares even a small inkling of passion, of knowledge, of love, of fights, of, you know, something that may be going on in their life that they're so comfortable to divulge. It's like genuinely meeting a person in a wide, wide world of things. There was this saying, and like one of my professors used to tell me, which was, did you know that genuinely meeting someone and getting to know them is probably rarer than, like, you know, the constellation and the number of stars there actually are in the universe? Because we're only alive for one specific moment, and we're essentially a speck of dust in the grand history of time, right? And as new stars are being created and or destroyed to an almost endless amount, the beauty of the connections that we make are never undervalued by that. It breaks the feelings of darkness and loneliness in the world for a fleeting moment. Even for just a fleeting moment, that can be quite a bit. That can be quite a bit, dude. Yeah. Anyway. And I go back to it.
まだもうちょっと。
よかったらまた話そう。
いいんすか？
ひなちゃん、川本さん通して連絡くれれば。
そうっすか。じゃあよろしくな、川本。
Oh. Oh, too cute. Too cute. When people say they're not interesting. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. I just wish I cherished a small, meaningless connection to keep them with me instead of forgetting them and going back to. But friend, even the connection with yourself, right? And I think this is a big one. Like, this is a big aspect for self-growth, and I think in terms of this, even for a main character, this is something that I would ask him. Like, what do you value about yourself? For example, Chaos Puppy, like my dear, what do you love about yourself? What value do you place on your skills? What are some of your strengths? What is something that you feel like you've grown in? What are some of your weaknesses? What is something that you want to improve on? What are some of your goals? Right? Even going through some of these basic questions and asking yourself this, it's sort of the start for growth. It's sort of for the start of trying to find your way. Heard when you're making connections, they're still there. Masters, her strength is that she's a good girl. And someone like this, you know, for example, for a main character here, I'm actually kind of a little scared. Although all that stuff is so important to understand about yourself. Absolutely. But a lot of people undervalue it. A lot of people undervalue it hard. And I think I know a lot of, like, for example, I've gotten a lot of DMs from the people that watch the stream and just lurk, where it's like pictures of them taking like a lot of the questions and psychological stuff that we talk about. That some of you guys might be, it's like, oh, psychologist in chat, toxic chat while watching anime type of thing. This actually relates to this, to the show in general and to you. Because as a psychologist looking in, what would I be asking our main character? And it's these specific questions. What do you value about yourself? What room do you have to grow? What are your goals? Who is family to you? And family doesn't have to be blood related. Have you ever attempted on your life? Are you a danger to self or others? All of these questions are valuable questions to try and understand. How are you feeling? Where do you plan on going? Do you have any cognitive distortions? If so, what? Looking at this, I'm like, I'm scared. I'm scared as to how dark this show's gonna go. I'm scared that we're gonna see some progression of light and movement, where he's gonna start making his little apartment that has everything boxed up into a home, and then he might relapse, and the relapse might be really fucking hard, and he might hurt himself. You being scared automatically makes me scared. I'm scared that we might see him with the beautiful moonlight hitting his, like, the wardrobe, and he has like a little bed and everything set up, but deep inside he feels lonelier than ever because of that relapse, and because he doesn't know how to reach out to others. He doesn't know how to navigate that. I'm scared because in moments like this, even when making connections, a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people don't talk to you about, like, hey, reach out if you're ever having troubles, and you're not going to be a bother, you know. And it's moments like these that, for me as a psychologist looking in, I'm like, there's so many fucking flags that are being raised, and I'm like I worry for our boy. I think he'll be fine, but still I worry. Oh. I can see the flow of time.
ご飯はみんな塩むすびにしといたよ。
Yeah.
天ぷらとゆで卵と漬物と。
すみません、助かります。れいち
ゃん、ありがとう。またね。
Cute girls, please support him. He needs you.
その夜はあったかいご飯といろんな出来事でお腹の中がふわふわして、なかなか眠くならなくて、遅くまで 詰将棋の問題を延々解き続けた。ふと気づくと6階の僕の部屋まで水の匂いと波の音が昇ってきていた。
聞いてみたかったんです。
彼が僕に聞いたように、僕も誰かに尋ねることができる日が来るとしたら、いつかその目に映ってきた景色を、嵐の向こうにあるものの話を、
The biggest mistake that we can think is that we have to suffer life's problems on our own. I think sometimes we isolate ourselves to try and protect ourselves, but not really knowing the amount of damage that we're doing to others as well. In a situation like this, I think everyone, because we all have our own perspectives on life, right? And for me, this is sort of establishes the way that he thinks in general, right? Something that I used to do in college is I would have an open door policy, because probably in the dorms I was the only one that could cook, right? And this was a safety policy, so that if anyone knocked and I was there, I would open up and they could come in and vent if I was up during that time, or talk or eat or whatever. And I remember, for example, I was essentially the dorm cook for a lot of people. I was like, people would come over and knock on my door. I lived in a single dorm in this university. They would come in and they would open up about everything as I cooked them breakfast or food or lunch or dinner. And I remember one time it was like 3:30 in the morning, and there was, essentially, I lived out by like the canals, where we could overlook the canals and see them and everything in the Netherlands. And I remember just like the doors were, like the windows were open. The moon was beautiful. Like it was actually a cloudless day. And I was hitting just the right spot. My TV was off, everything was off. And I remember just hearing the faintest knock, and I remember going over and like opening up the door, and I see one of the individuals there, and she comes in, and she was literally like the shyest person, like never really talked to anyone, never really opened up. And she takes a seat, and she's like super duper shy and almost crying, and she's like, "Can you teach me how to cook?" She's like, essentially ran out of funds for a little bit, didn't really know a lot about cooking, they hadn't really opened up to anyone. And so I remember making her some eggs, some fries, some food, and teaching her like how to do it along the way, and having her eat it. And we just talked, and she opened up, and it was like sort of like a little moment where she knew that it was a safe place, seeing Brady and all of these other, because Brady would come to my room like pretty often, dude. Brady was always there. But seeing all these other people just come into my room and always ask for breakfast or lunch or dinner, or all of these things, and bond over food. And she came in at this random time where apparently I was awake magically that night, and she opened up. And I remember just being there, and as I mentioned with the guy in the park, where I would see this guy at a park almost daily, and then it turned into a weekly thing, where he was venting and letting out everything, and then maybe a monthly thing. Then I remember being there, and it was like once, and just being the only one there at that park. And it became a very similar scenario, where it's those quiet moments of introspection that really help us grow. Same thing with this person, where they would come in and it was almost a daily thing, learning, and she started to blossom and grow her social skills, and weekly, monthly, and boom, they're gone. And those memories, the memories that we form with people, even the small steps of introspection of, I might have been tired the next day, I might have been absolutely whatever, but at least I was there to help a person grow in their own establishment, and that they weren't weathering this storm of life alone, even if it was just for a brief second of time, a brief speck of dust. Something that will probably not be remembered in generations to come. at least it was enough to make an impact on their life at that set of time. And that for me means everything. Like, you cannot pay me more than enough to get that serendipitous moment of people actually being able to move forward. And that's why, for a main character, I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing. Or it's coming into the realization that this storm that we call life doesn't have to be experienced alone. And that there are others out there, and that family isn't determined by blood, but by who we would determine that family to be, and by who we would determine our friends to be as well. Sorry guys, don't mean to get all emotional and shit. Like, I'm sure they will remember it. Honestly, I hope so. A lot of people do. A lot of people reach out to me and they talk to me, and I have friends from all over the world that still reach out and they tell me a lot about like how they're doing and impacts, moments of impact that they've had. You know, whether, for example, Brady, Hero Brady, as I'm sure most of you guys know, common story, and this might just turn into a little bit of a story time. Him being with his partner, being completely smashed to the point of no return, to the point where he was giving me weird sign language that wasn't sign language to try and communicate with me. Yet me being, you know, even though I had done a lot of shots with a lot of people, being a little bit tilted, still being empathetic enough to understand what his reasoning is, and being able to carry him back home and care for him and make sure that he's okay, and, you know, 101 other aspects out there, making sure that he got home safe and sound, and all of these things. It's like, for me, the moment that I see someone, like, if you're a friend and I know that you're there, it's like instant, all right, what can I do to make you feel better? And all of these things. I'm sure he can tell you this story because he was giving me sign language, and his partner at that time disappeared because she was out taking selfies in the bathroom and completely forgot that their partner was outside, that Brady was outside on the verge of, like, you know, living his last day per se, until, yeah, that was an interesting journey, not to say the least. Anyway.
ゴールの向こう側について語られる物語を僕はまだ知らない。
But that's why I'm saying, Finfrin, it's about how we connect with others, dude, or story.
Eh, そろそろご飯にしようか。ひなちゃんは今猛烈に緊張している。普段はパーッと元気になったり、シューンとしょんぼりしたり、モキーって怒ったり。
Hold on, I'll back it up. I swear. I always have the problem where if I'm there too much, I've had people make me the sole responsibility for their emotions, and they would guilt me that I'm the reason they're sad, and if I can't cheer them up. How would you reconcile those two aspects? Chaos Puppy, let me go ahead and say this. You're not responsible for anyone's emotions. They are. You cannot control the weather. Neither can they. The weather comes and goes. But ultimately, it's up to them as to how they feel, as to how they process those emotions. You know? But them guilt-tripping you, or you feeling guilt-tripped, or them using you as an excuse for how they feel is not okay. I'm going to be straight up with you. That is not okay. The moment that someone tries to guilt-trip you for feeling a certain way, or for not cheering them up, or for making them feel sadder because you're not able to cheer them up, or whatever reason like that, for me, this screams a lot of things. I'm wondering if sometimes you go through compassion fatigue, Chaos Puppy, where it's like if you're in The Legend of Zelda and you have all these beautiful little hearts out here collected, you know, so you can take hit points. But every single time you see someone that you love or you care, you give them a heart in order to try and cheer them up. But their hit points are going down, so you give them another one. And then soon enough, you're almost out of hearts. And you're at the last little quarter of a heart that you have for yourself for the rest of the day. That sounds tiring, dude. That sounds exhausting, and a lot of people like us go through that. You know, a lot of people who love to help others out, who try to be there and cheer other people up. And yeah, Yeah, I want him to get love from the girls, but I'm so afraid that he's so depressed. So watching things, I'm like, ugh. My big thing, Chaos, is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And I think that's a big philosophy in a lot of theater, a lot of psychology. We gotta mind our health bars, exactly, friend. Where we can literally show a person that they're able to do, like, take on the world, but if they're not ready to see that, we can't put in any more work than they're willing to. And that's a big aspect in all of that. The only thing that we can do is just, you know, slowly hope for them to take that first step, and to know that taking that first step is not a scary opportunity, but a moment of growth. Anyway, hold on, that's deep, dude. That's really deep.
普段はパーッと元気になったり、シューンとしょんぼりしたり、ムキって怒ったり、いろんな意味で活発であり、そこが彼女の持ち味であると思うのだけど、その彼女が固まっている。なぜなら目の前に高橋くんがいるからである。
Bruh.
久しぶりだな、川本んち。小2の時以来。
ひなちゃん。
Oh.
ほら、ひなちゃんしっかりご飯こんくらいでいい。
Emotions on their sleeve, Chaos.
本当にカレーでよかったのかな。やっぱりもっと豪華なご飯の方が良かったんじゃないのかな。カレーなんてありきたりすぎだよ。喜んでくれないよ。
大丈夫だよ。上手にできてるよ。高橋くんから土曜空いてますかってメール来たんだけど、ひなちゃん家に一緒に行っていいかな。なんか悪かったかな。
I'm kind of curious, Chaos and all of you guys. How was your first love? Like your first crush and love and all of that. And everyone, even the lurkers, because I know a lot of you guys like to hide for a little bit. How'd you guys handle your first love, your first crush? Cough me. How was your first crush? Or did you get super nervous around her? Ooh, you know, like ada type thing, or what is it, guys? How was your first crush? It was awkward. Yeah, I could tell, dude. Like, yeah, that first crush, first love feeling. It's like, what do? Are you grandiose in your movements? Are you a little small? Are you like, holy fuck, she's looking at me. A girl's looking at me. Ah! I don't really get genuine crushes. My first love, we were best friends, so I was like, I don't know how to girlfriend. You don't get a lot of crushes, genuine crushes. Aw, Chaos puppy. I got back and thinking back made me cringe. Winner, how was your first crush though? Zephyrak. I was nervous inside, but tried to act normal, and it became awkward. Bruh. Actually better than the rest because of my crushes, because we were friends at once. But we ended up knowing. I wrote a poem. I think it's somewhere out there. It's in a book somewhere about, you know, I wrote a poem to her. I know this is cringy, bro. This is fucking cringy. I'm talking about like the first like real big crush, like in high school or whatever. And my English teacher loved it so much that she's like, yeah, I submitted it, and it's somewhere out there. About like, should I say it? No, I love this person. We're gonna be besties, and they don't know it yet. Oh, friendship crushes are amazing, dude. Dude, we're gonna be best fucking friends. I don't know what you're talking about. I made a charm for my first crush and gave it to her on the last day of school. Bro, I fucking feel that. I feel that so hard. If it wasn't such late at night, I'd bring out the guitar and I'd sing you guys a song. But oh, dude, for first crushes, man, or just a big crush in general can make or break you. It's huge. I did something worse. Oh God, my friendship crush reciprocates. Chaos puppy, we're gonna be best fucking friends. I don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna be like stepbrothers. Oh, never had a crush on someone again. Oh, I printed pictures of her, then write stuff. I like her, and then give it to her as on a DIY. Oh, touch me, that's so cute. Oh my fucking God, yes. No stepbrothers. I have a drum set. We can reenact that scene. Oh, coffee. Stepbrother. Okay, I'm just shut the fuck up. Let's continue, dude. The reason why I'm touching that YouTube as well, dude. How was your first crush, guys? For those of you genuinely, and how did you interact around them versus how you are now? I'll be honest. My first crush, I was. Don't touch my drum set. My first crush, I was such a nervous wreck, dude. I was like, uh, honestly, they were probably okay. I hate. Ooh, ooh, should I say this? They were into me as well. Now looking back on it, but my dumbass couldn't pick up the hints. Hey, are you free Saturday? No. That was me, by the way. Like, hey, do you want to go out this Saturday? We can go to the, like, you know, the movies together. Hey, we're at the movies. Oh wow, all of my friends couldn't be here. All right, I'm leaving. It's just me being a dumbass, but yeah, dude. Like, I'm really bad at like when I was younger at picking up some cues as well. No worries. Oof. That was me, like leaving, dude. I was like, "Ugh." Or like, here's my phone number. Why do I need that for? Hot damn, the niggeriz. The thing is, they were still persistent until one day. I think it was like the end of like I forgot that year. They were like, "Hey, you know I liked you, right?" And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." First crush cheated on me because I like to give people lots of freedom because you should be able to go out with their friends. I have a lot of guy friends, so I thought it'd be hypocritical to say he couldn't hang out with female friends. Well, oh, Chaos Puppy, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think a big portion of that is like you should have freedom, absolutely, in a relationship. Like let's say that you're like gonna go have a girls' night out or something, right? Or a guy, even hanging out with guys, dude. Go do what you gotta do. Like I trust you to be the best version of you that you can be, right? As long as you respect the relationship, do what you gotta do, right? And I assume that would be the same way back, right? But if someone's taking advantage of that trust and acting on it, at that point their actions are like premeditated and not in a good way, because that means that they're taking advantage of that trust, probably believing a cognitive distortion that you were probably doing something of the same. But that's not cool. That is not cool. Like in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry you had to go through that, dude. I've been cheated on as well. It sucks. It sucks. He's the one who took advantage of that trust. Absolutely. But also, Chaos Puppy. We're mob. Dorito mob. Banditos Doritos. Dorito Banditos. Get ready, guys. We're gonna go lynch someone. we're gonna go fight someone. I have more female friends than guys. If a girlfriend tried to stop me from hanging out, hanging out with them would be a deal breaker. Well, what are ultimatums? Even in first crushes, right? When hanging out with people would be so. Yeah. Because I let him hang out with. What? Ew. Chaos. Okay, you can answer this, or you can choose to refrain, especially since we're on stream and stuff. Did he ever try to gaslight you? Because for me, that's sort of what I'm like kind of wondering is if there are situations where he would try and like bring up discussions to try and go ahead and gaslight you, or paint you as a villain, or paint you as the individual that was literally causing the arguments or the issues in the relationship. I know discussions and shit happens in relationships all the time, right? But sometimes people do it purposefully so that they can go ahead and start a narrative that will like make their friends or other people around them see them in another light. Right, so i.e. trigger you to a way that they can get the perfect screenshot or their perfect response so that others can see how bad you were during that specific moment without other context. And some people thrive off of that, dude. Anyway, that completely missed my mouth. Why don't we go on and continue? Yeah, I've been trying. There are master manipulator problem. Chaos. Oh no, okay. I'm gonna send you all my love, dude. Here's a Dorito. Here's my corazon. You get one of these rare Ed hearts. I rarely do a Psyculturist heart. You get one of those, dude. Other guy was way spicier. Wait, what do you mean by spicier, dude? Hold on. Wait, what do you mean, dude?
本当はね、土曜は急にお店番頼まれちゃって。そうね。じゃあカレーにすれば？ 先に作っておけば、あとは来てから温めるだけで安心でしょ。そしたら失敗とかもないし。普通っぽすぎる。もっとこう豪華なっていうか凝った感じのやつでないと。あなたまだ懲りてないよね。お弁当の時のこと忘れたの？もうだから。
She's too cute. She's too cute.
今ご飯って言いましたよね。おい。先輩自分も確かに聞いたんじゃ。しまった。
The kitties. The kitties.
ご飯のことじゃなくて。お兄さんご飯なんですか？じゃあおまけで唐揚げをトッピングってのはどうよ。唐揚げ。
You know what? That's what I love about Loki. My wolf dog literally chills and waits for me to be done eating before he's like, hey, you gonna feed me too? Like, he's super fucking chill, dude. And it really do be like that. Like, my giant ass wolf dog, dude, that scared a burglar that tried to come into the house. Yeah, like, who can turn into full-on wolf mode, like, in an instant, is, like, super chill about food. But yeah, I used to have a cat a long time ago, and that, oh, super demanding, dude. Super duper demanding. It's like, you gotta feed it, like, you know, they were up early in the morning, and it was their time for food before it was yours, even if you had, like, a set time. It was like, ooh. A wolf dog, masters.
で、高橋くんはというと。
温泉卵が乗ってる。いただきます。
Doki Doki Literature Club.
おお、すっごい気持ちのいい食べっぷり。
I'm so jealous of your wolf dog. Wait, Chaos Puppy. You can take him on a walk if you want.
しかも温泉卵が乗ってるなんて超豪華じゃんか。お店で食うやつみたいだ。
Oh.
おかわりもあるよ。よかった。お姉ちゃんありがとう。
あ、そうだ。俺桐山さんに聞きたいことはあるんですけど。
Feel free. He's yeah.
川本、ビデオデッキ借りていい？
いいよ。
He's a good boy.
これなんすけど。
うわ、こないだ来た人だ。なんで
？Would you look? Aw.
すげえ。
すごい。テレビに出る人だったの？
You know what I'm thinking? Hold on. You know what I'm thinking? Imagine this to be Magnus Carlsen, right? And you're friends with Magnus Carlsen. And you bring over your local high school sports, you know, like crush or whatever. And he comes over and meets Magnus Carlsen. Then he sees on like the TV, like Hikaru Nakamura. And it's like Hikaru Nakamura has been at this table with Magnus Carlsen in them. It's like he's the odd one out, dude. Like, oh, Frankie, what's up, dude? How you doing? You can ask anything, Frankie. Feel free. Dollar Store Anya is so hype. Oh, dude, Dollar Store Anya is great. But yes, Chaos Puppy, just forewarning, you know, since he is a very much of a protector dog, you gotta have a lot of like upper body strength just in case he decides to have the zoomies. I might just take both of you out on a walk. I might take everyone out on the walk. Anime of all time? Ooh, I wouldn't happen to know that, but I think chat does. I'm rather new to anime, so I think chat should be able to go ahead and jump on that. Everyone. Yes.
なんでそんなことになってんの？
仲いいんですよね。二階堂さんよく言ってますもんね。
Group walkies.
ちょっと待てよ。二階堂が解説ってことは。
Oh no.
ねえ、このビデオまた今度にしない？
先手6六金、後手3四角成。
Hey yo.
先手6四馬。
Ah, thanks so much for the follow, Frankie.
ごちそうさまでした。
そっか、しまった。やべ、桐山さん内緒にしてたんだっけ。
なんだ坊主、情報解禁か。
あ、どうもお邪魔してます。
おお、高橋のせがれか。でっかくなったな。
You got him big.
クソじじいとクソ親父は元気か。
はい、元気っす。昨べも将棋指して喧嘩してました。あ、で桐山五段に聞いてこいって言われたんすけど。
あ、 NHK 杯どこだ。俺も見てたぞ。
あ、ここです。
先手4二馬。
なんてことするんだ桐山。これじゃ切りに行ったのか切られに行ったのかわからんだろ。
二階堂四段。
熱い解説だなおい。
これが敗着の一手だったとは思えないって。二階堂四段はなんでこんなこと言ってるんだって。
同玉。先手5五金。
いえ、彼の言う通り、これが敗着の一手でした。
じいちゃんも親父もこれがそんなに握手とは思えない。むしろ攻めっ気と男気にあふれた手な気がするって。
An aggressive move with the manly
ガチ
spirit.
ガチに固く囲って俺のミス待ちで全然動かないから、なんかじゃあミスするかどうかやってやろうじゃないかって思って。
かっこつけんだ桐山。本当に勝ちたいんなら粘れ。攻めるだけじゃなくちゃんと守れ。最近のお前ちょっと変だぞ。
Bruh.
二階堂さん、盤面が見えません。
三段リーグの頃のお前の方がもっと慎重でひたむきだった。潔いのと投げやりなのは似ているけど違うんだ。
But that's the thing is sometimes mental illness, man, can fuck us up. Like, especially if we're going through bouts of depression or we have anxiety or anything. I have testing anxiety, right? Like, I get a little bit anxious whenever I take a test, and I might know the question, but sometimes I get so in my head that I forget to, to do certain things, right? Or to, like, fully read the question and properly process the question. So sometimes I need to, like, read it twice before I'm able to go out and do something. I can't even imagine the amount of pressure that must be for someone to do something like that and still be in a state where you're questioning yourself and you're trying to grow and all of these things. Like, mental blocks. It's like if you're playing Overwatch or a game and you start a losing streak, right? And then you get so toxic in your train of thought that, like, the losing streak keeps going. It can get pretty bad. It can get really, really bad if you're not careful.
聞こえてるか。
二階堂四段、カメラ近すぎ
も
ま
っと自分の将棋を自分を大切にしてくれ桐山。
す。二階堂四段、対局室は4階です。聞こえませんって。落ち着いてください。
Bruh.
だとさ坊主、おめえなかなかいい友達持ってんじゃねえか。
俺ちょっと羨ましいです。
Chaos, I'm gonna do that to you from now on. Whenever you're streaming, I'm just gonna yell at you.
いいか、一度しか言わん。はあ、でも大事なことだぞ。いいか桐山。だからむしろビデオに撮って何度も見ろ。
いや、いいな。
Oh.
マブダチっすね。
自分を大切にしろ。それができないのが伸び悩みの原因だ。
くっそ知るか。なんだよその上から目線。ムカつくなクソ。
坊主が怒った。
大体この人言ってることがおかしいよ。一度しか言わん。だからビデオに撮って何度も見ろって。もう全然意味わかんないんすけど。
あ、確かに。でも二階堂さんの親友を思う気持ちは俺本物だと思うっす。
甘酸っぱいぜお前ら。
Sweet and sour.
若いもん捨てたもんじゃねえな。
いいな。
え、一体どこが。
Oh, that smile, dude. Oh,
初めて聞いた。
oh, that smile hurt. Oh, I'm gonna cry, dude. That fucking smile hurt. Oh, that hurt. Keep the tear in. Keep the tears in. No. No, that smile fucking hurt. Okay, we're good. Ooh, in the most beautiful way, this, dude. Oh, That hurt. Oh, it's true though. It's true.
レイちゃんのでっかい声初めて聞いた。
彼女の言葉に
No chaos, you got this. Believe in yourself.
僕は
Fuck.
ちょっぴり驚いた。
なんか楽しいね。
だってそんなこと言われたの初めてだったんだ。
ねえ、レイちゃんお願い。私にも将棋教えてくれる？
Oh. My kokoro, dude. We believe in you too.
私にも将棋教えてくれる？
It's morbid
知ら
time.
なかった。誰かに自分のいる世界のことについて興味を持ってもらえることがこんなにもお腹のあたりがふわふわするほど嬉しい。
Oh yeah, dude.
まず晩はどれにしようか。木製よりビニールマットの方がいいかもな。お茶の間のちゃぶ台の上に乗せるわけだから。で、駒も気軽に扱ってもらえるようにこのプラスチックのがいいかも。ももちゃん牛乳とかよくこぼすし。
My dude's jumping the gun. Oh, my dude's jumping the gun a little bit. I would oh, like I know how exciting it is. Like genuinely, how exciting is it whenever someone call into stream? I mean, if you have a question or something, you can always ask it, dude. Like a psychological question or anything, always feel free to ask it on like in chat. I usually tend like unless it's like a game or something that we're doing, I tend not to do voice chat just because I don't want anything to ever turn into a therapy session, because if you're doing therapy on stream, it's pretty bad, you know. But if you have a question, a psychological question, or you're going through something, always feel free to ask it, dude. That's what it's about. But what I was gonna say is, having someone that shares your passion or your interests, I think that's huge, dude. Or even just supports you in some way, shape, or form. Streaming, gaming, D&D, Warhammer, whatever it may be, dude. I think that's important. Also, whatever it is.
字も崩してないから読みやすいし、あと一応図解とかあった方が分かりいいかな。どれがいいかな。
初心者向けなら谷山先生と千崎先生のが分かりやすいぞ。二階堂？品切れだな。残念至極。
これください。
嬉しいよ桐山。君も普及の大切さを感じてるんだね。で、誰に教えるんだい？
では、よろしくお願いします。
こちらこそよろしく。
大丈夫かな？覚えられるかな、私にも。
大丈夫。難しそうに見えるけど、始めるのは意外に簡単なんだよ。もし難しく感じたとしたら、それはひなちゃんのせいじゃなく、全て教えた人間の責任だから。というわけで、はい、桐山先生お願いします。
そんな前振りから俺のターンに？ですね、シンプルに説明すると、この縦 9× 横9の81マスの盤の上でお互い8種類20枚ずつの駒を使い、駒を取ったり取られたりしながら相手の王様を捕まえるゲームです。先に指す人が先手、後に指す人が後手といって交互に1手ずつ指していきます。8種類の駒はそれぞれ性格が違って動ける範囲が異なります。ちなみにこの縦の列が筋、横の列を段、通常横を3要数字で記します。で、マス目には一つずつ住所があって、で、次は一つ一つの駒の動かし方ですが。
Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro.
ちょっと待って桐山。硬よ桐山。
Hold on, bro.
ほら、もうひなくん、やっぱり難しいかもって顔になっているだろ。ああいう風になると緊張して頭に入りにくくなってしまうんだ。それじゃもったいないだろう。最初のイメージだけでもつかみやすくしないと。
じゃあどうするのさ。
さあ、ひなくん、ももくん。今度は僕が説明しよう。さあ、この絵本を一緒に見よう。はい。
So cute. This is so cute. He has a whole pop-up book here. Ah! Legend!
将棋っていうのはこんな風に8種類の性格の違う駒を動かして相手の王様を捕まえるゲームなんだ。ゲームはこの 9×9 の81マスの上でやるんだ。
Oh, dude, this is too cute.
向こう3段が相手の国だ。さあでは次は一人一人のニャーたちの性格を紹介するぞ。お願いします。いい返事だ。
二階堂、お前すげえよ。なんだろう、この
Jealousy? Exclusion. Ah, okay, yeah. The cat. Let's learn how to play with shogi cats. Wait, the knight still moves in an L formation?
Yeah.
It's a banger. It's a banger. That was cute. That was cute. That's adorable. That was cute.
にゃにゃめ77度のにゃらびでにゃくにゃくいにゃにゃくにゃにゃはんにゃにゃだいにゃんにゃくにゃらべてにゃがにゃがめ。
I know, sorry. Neko Ed came out for a second there. I'm sorry, guys. I can't let Pupper Ed come out sometime, though, because that would be terrifying. I think this show in general, although most people would probably like hear some of the commentary and think we're like gearing off, is very introspective, right? Because even in forms of learning, even in forms of play, even in forms of the dynamics that are present here, I think this show time after time has proven itself like the weight that it can carry in this show, not by the action, but by the words and the power dynamics and the relationship dynamics that are present. Huge. Huge. Like, it has a shot to keep moving up. I think this show has like time after time been like episode per episode, you're just getting more of a build up. And it's not even like a, hey, we're going to go ahead and skip, you know, skip like 20 episodes. I'm going to take you one step at a time. Hey, it's okay. Hold my hand. Just hold my hand. It's okay. Well, I'll take this first step with you. We're going on to the next step. Are you okay? You okay? Let's take this next step. You know, it's you who's a good person. You are. You're doing wonderful. Oh, you're doing absolutely wonderful. All right, time to take the next step. Like, this show is like literally leading us like step by step by step in a very nice direction where the characters don't seem like out of place. You know, where the characters actually seem as though they're progressing in a steady way of growth and naturalness that you don't find in a lot of shows. This is hitting my heart in many, many ways. I'm loving it, dude. I'm absolutely loving the show. I don't know, dude. Like, for me, if a show can get me off topic to divert and talk about many different aspects and elements and bring up like conversational topics like that, it's a good show. It's a really, really, really good show. Do you think it has a cyclical journey with the MC? We'll probably be in the same... I think so, Masters, where we're probably going to see a form of relapse. But maybe a form of growth as well. Because that's the thing in life. I hate to put it this way. we're beings of cyclical change, right? We're beings of like going through a maintenance change, pre-contemplation, contemplation, relapse, and going through those cycles over and over and over again. That's just the way that we go through our lives, right? That's how we improve. This show's blowing my mind. This show's just blowing my mind. Cyclical change begins, but it also hurts. And I think that's sort of what hurts the most.